Hello and welcome to a sparkling Sydney Harbour for the second heat of the 18-footer skiff state championships, the first Sunday of summer, and what a day we have. Sparkling skies, sparkling seas and a lovely east-northeasterly breeze to propel the skiffs around the traditional course. Good afternoon. On behalf of Sail Media, I'm Peter Shipway and we're delighted to be bringing this championship race to you. Today's race is sponsored by SMEG and they'll be racing for the Alice Burton Memorial Trophy. We would like to get an overview of the weather, and we'd like to say a good afternoon to a man that will bring a lot of fact and a little bit of fiction. Here's Andrew Buckland. Andrew, good afternoon.
Thanks, Pete. Yeah, I've got some great fiction stored up, especially for you, mate. Oh, and for the viewers as well, of course. So, shippers, as you've pointed out, it looks like summer. Not quite full summer. A high pressure cell off the coast, east northeast flow. Inside Sydney Harbour here, water temperature of 2021, so getting up towards high 70s Fahrenheit. Probably wind at the start going to be 12 to 16 will cover the track, and we're expecting it to build and rotate a little as the day goes on. Cautionary note being that there's not a huge amount of thermal gradient around, and the compression from an approaching cold front is a little way off, but we're still expecting to see additional perhaps 3 knots by the last lap.
So all skiffs on their number 2 rigs?
Yeah, everybody.
Okay, well, we bring in Jimmy Bury. Jimmy, our favourite course, the nor'easterly course, for those that I'm sure most of you know it, but let's go through it again for those that may not be familiar with it. Take us away, Jimmy.
G'day, Shibbo. Yeah, the nor'easter is one of our favourite. We start down here in the vicinity of Clark Island, work all the way up to Sound Pigs, around the mark set Spinnakers for the first time, down around at Shark Island, back down to Clark. Then we do a windward leeward, basically back up to Sound Pigs, back down to Clark. Then work up for the final time, back up to the Pigs, round Shark and through to the finish here off Double Bay.
Okay, well, that's the scene as we look upwind towards the distance George's Head, as all skiffs are out now, just milling around. We've got about 11 minutes or so before the start, and we'll go through a few interesting selections in crew and skippers today. On the Burrawang Hotel, probably one of the most interesting new skippers is John Harris, the 2001 JJ Giltnan winner. He's standing in for Simon Nern today on the Burrawang with the crew of Warren Sayre and Brandon Byank. And then we've got 2 Shore and Partner boats out today. The boat from last year, which has been somewhat in mothballs, will be out with a crew from the maxi yacht Andu Comanche. Pablo Arate, Antonio Corrares and Phil Jamison, the man they know on as Blood. They're going to have a crack out here today. And the other boat of Shaw and Partners, of course, was last year's Tech 2 with Jim Colley, Max Paul and Tom Quigley aboard. Andrew, let's give us your thoughts on early predictions and how this race is going to pan out.
Well, it's now beyond sale registration day, so the fleet has their basic setups that they will use for the Giltinan. So no more surprises about what people turn up with. But equally, there are some sales having their first outing today, and I believe including New Mainsail on the Andu as an example, but plenty scattered through the fleet. It's a good test, and as we've noted, 3 laps of this track usually sorts the wheat from the chaff pretty effectively. And I think it'll be a pretty close contest. I suspect fought out between Rag and Famish, Smeg and Andu. And I couldn't predict who will come out on top.
Well, last week we saw a masterclass from Andu. John Winning Jr., Sam Newton and Sevi Jarvin. They were basically led almost from the word go. They punched off Bradley's head and got in front and were never headed, although Smeg closed things down towards the finish. And that was the result from last week. You'll see that the first race there. Andu first, Smeg second, Ilve third, Fisher Paykel fourth, Rag and Famish fifth, Yandu sixth, Birkenhead Point impressive with a seventh, Kitchen Maker eighth, the Oak Double Bay ninth and Balmain Slake rounded out the top 10. And Balmain Slake to do today, Andrew, they've launched their new hull.
Yeah, beautiful too, looks fantastic. Absolute cracking colour scheme if we can find them on the track at the moment. They've been up, they've done almost a full first beat in their pre-race trial.
There they are there, Bucko.
Hello. So there it is, shiny, orange, new, minimum weight, 18-footer hull. Thank you very much, Brett Van Munster and co. Bloody good to see. So expecting probably that will bring them close to the, the front 20% of the fleet and closer anyway. The old hull was...
Their old hull was very old. It was the old Yandu.
Was the old Yandu, yeah. Exactly.
So the skipper there, Henry Larkin, sailed 18s last year as a rookie. Has had a lot of success in 29ers.
Now, Pete, there's something else we should mention, though, that we didn't touch on last week about how long this course has been in use. And I had a bit of help from John Stanley through the week, steamer, as usual, obliged with the goodies. I've got, and we're about to get on screen, the Sydney Flying Squadron program from Saturday the 14th of November 1903, so a couple of years ago. 18-foot championship race, first prize £10. The course for the day, from the start line between the starters boat and Clark Island, so roughly where we are, around the lightship and Sow and Pigs Reef, which is roughly where the Beecher Boy is now, around Shark Island, and then back around the starters boat. It was the first lap. So there we go. There's more than 120 years of continuous history of this first lap. Not necessarily the whole course, but just talking about the course axis lined up with the harbour and a nice natural jibe mark called Sharkus Islanders.
Well, we're still about 7 minutes away from the start of the second heat of the state titles. Breeze about 12, 13, 14 knots perhaps. From the probably northeast, maybe a touch of east, but I think it'll be a race again to Bradley's. The tide is flooding. So again, Andrew, first to Bradley's will be looking pretty good, you'd think?
Yeah, I mean, these guys are getting a bit innovative, but in the olden days we'd just be hard left up the left edge. No mucking around in the middle of the channel or crossing the channel twice. And but it'll be interesting to see, Pete. So the harbour axis roughly 030, as you're well aware. The breeze actually probably averaging about 045, but more right in the right and a little bit of left in the left, but maybe about 045 would be a good guess.
Okay, there's Smeg, second last week, a crew change aboard there today. Ricky Bridge, long-time crew member, he's away racing 16-footers up at Gosford for their state titles. James Doran comes in on the sheet with Tom Anderson in the bow for skipper Michael Coxon. And we've also got a couple of crew changes aboard Lazarus. Marcus Ashley-Jones will be skippering, but Harry Bethwaite and Geronimo Harrison are the crew as we're hearing the 5-minute hooter, and the 5 flags go up on the committee boat. And the start line in Double Bay, just the head of Double Bay, the pin down towards Clark Island. There's the start boat. So, Andrew, where are we going to start?
Same story as ever, at the pin.
At the pin and put the foot down. Is that the go?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'll do my best to get down there.
Let's get down there.
Oh, they're the Shore partners, the new boys trying to save her on the start line. Hang on to her, boys. There we go.
Got it done. So, Jimmy, just looking at the crew weight then on the Smeg.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Doran will weigh more than Mr. Bridge, correct?
Look, I think that'd be roughly the same.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're
Anyway, they're certainly not in the light end.
You've got to remember, Doz had to lose a little bit of weight recently for a wedding.
Oh, he had to look good.
Yes.
Don't we all?
They're 4 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Okay, there's the 4-minute signals. So,
and Pete, we should also mention that we did make a little bit of an error last week in relation to the possible general recall. The time that we were using is what we've rechristened Apple Cupertino Chittenden time, which is a very special, not quite accurate time, of course. And so we're a couple of seconds out, and Jeremy Whitty, who's sort of in charge of these matters on the committee boat, explained to us the difference between Apple time and GPS. He said a couple of seconds. So we added our own probably 1 second of error and a few other things, and Albert Einstein would be very pleased with this relativity at its best, Chids.
well, as I said earlier, we've got a lot of bit of fiction aboard today, so there's a little bit, our first taste of it. So anyway, we're back watching the fleet.
But perhaps, Pete, an apology to Tony, the flagman, and Jules, who calls the line, because Jeremy sent me a very nice picture of the exact moment where he believes the signal, the start was live, and it did appear to be close to a clean start.
We can only do our best here.
That's right, but as we say, the officials, time in and time out, do a terrific job, and without them, we wouldn't have much to watch. So we're now 2 minutes 35 to go for this second heat, racing for the Alice Burton Memorial Trophy, and the fleet all under number 2 rigs in a nor'easter that really is a perfect sailing breeze. 12 knots, perhaps 14 at times, might be a bit more brisk up near the Beechel Buoy, the top mark.
And a bit more brisk at Bradley's Head too, Pete.
Yeah,
The normal,
there's a compressors around there.
the normal compression rules will apply here.
Tide coming in, so that will help keep the waves down a little. There's a lot of power boats out today because it's such a beautiful day on the harbour, and hopefully they won't have a massive influence on the race. But minute 50 to go. There's Ilve. They were very impressive last week. And they've got a...
Did they get a new spinnaker, Bucko, or...?
I'm pretty certain that arrangements have been made.
So the different crew this week. Cam Gundy, the skipper, Johnny Walton and Justin Schaefer. Justin also sails aboard Andu Comanche. So plenty of the maxi sailors out today.
And good on them for having a go at, difficult translation between a
boat that you push a button and it doesn't tip over to you're now the button.
Yeah, that's right. It's a big job.
Okay, coming up to 1 minute.
So, Shippers, are we dead accurate on the time here, mate, or not? Or are we just rough? Rough.
We're just looking down from the pin. There's the pin.
Watching the flag. We've got a lecture about that, watching the flag.
And Andu, there's a minute to go. Andu set up to leeward, along with the Rag and Famish, which is Harry Price, Josh McKnight and Harry Hall. It's a new boat, only about its 3rd or 4th race. They've been impressive so far this year, as has Andu. They were terrific last week in winning the championship race.
Yeah, that might be a heavyweight prize fight down the end there, Pete.
Yeah, they're both down there. No one else is. Balmain Slake is down there as well. Smeg's down there. We've got under 30 seconds to go. Second heat just about to get underway.
And they're looking nicely restrained at this point.
They are. 18 seconds. Standing by. Andu got plenty of leeway to leeward.
Smeg pressing in down there as well.
Yeah, they're going to be a bit late, I think. Oh, here they go. Smeg's got the hammer down.
Pretty good.
Oh, Shaw and Partners at the weather end. 3, 2, 1, clear. Clear start. Away. Smeg got a very good start, about 2/3 the way down. Shaw and Partners. Jim Colley, good start at the pin end. The second Shaw and Partners a bit wobbly. Oh, they're the boys from Comanche. They've struggling a little bit, but anyway, we're away with the fleet. Andu and Rag and Famish down at the leeward end. There they go. There's Rag and Famish. Looks solid there above Andu.
And he's pressing hard there, Pete. Bow down, letting it rip.
They are both letting it rip, I think.
Yep.
Most of the fleet on starboard.
Just going past the boys on the second Shaw and Partners. They definitely need some bang. That might help them too.
Which button does that?
They might need a bit more than Vang, but anyway.
They're rowdy.
Here's a real speed race between these two. Andu and Rag and Famish. They're not worried too much about their height, and right in the middle of the fleet is what you'd call I don't know what you'd call it, it's a barge with people on board.
Let's call it a large barge, Pete, that'll do.
Large barge with people on board.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of the fleet, but anyway, well, there they go. You can see them in the middle of the line. But the race between these two, Andu and Rag and Famish, nothing in it at the moment. Rag and Famish has got Andu locked out. Andu trying to get around his bow, doing a pretty good job. They're very close. Andu's squeeze mode. Rag and Famish trying to struggle to live there, I think. Andu looks to be gaining the ascendancy. Can the Rag live there? I doubt it. He's going to have to bail out. He's trying to put the bow up. Andu can put the bow down now. That's Bradley's head in the background. Just coming to a bit of a squirrely breeze here.
Still got him pinned, Pete. Amazing.
Yeah, but Andu's getting into this little bit of vein of pressure first.
Yeah.
I think the Rag's got to have to bail, I think.
Well, he's going to test his luck here a bit, I think you'll find.
No, the Rag's just got a little... both crews working very hard here. Can the Rag live there?
Well, the Rag might get the opportunity to bail out in front of this powerboat wash.
I think Andu's got the squeeze on him. Just coming up on his bow now.
He can't call water though, Pete, can he?
Well, I don't think he'd need to in a moment. He'll be so far ahead.
No, he won't.
Oh.
He can't tack still. He can tack now.
Yeah, he can tack now. He's clear ahead. There goes the Rag. Andu will go a little couple of boat lengths and tack. And going to get a really nice pressure around Bradley's head. Meanwhile, the rest of the fleet are coming up the middle of the course.
So those guys have used a bit of juice in that little battle.
Yes, they did. They probably got concentrating on themselves. And out in the middle, we've got Fisher Paykel strong, Balmain Slate.
Balmain Slate leads, I would say.
Shaw and Partners in the middle of the line. Looks pretty good. That's him with a big red flash on the sail.
Their setup looked a bit too flat to me, Pete, but...
I think Shaw and Partners close to the lead.
Got some good comparisons here today.
So Andu taking a few sterns going across. Have to take the stern of his father there.
Didn't even have to duck, mate.
No. Burrowang with John Harris at the helm doing a pretty good job.
Oh, and the Balmain, not a great tack. And they're going to have to do a little bear away here, I think. Yep.
They're just bearing away Jordan Gurtis in Fisher Paykel. And you'll see Yandu coming up shortly. He's behind Balmain Slate. Yeah, the Balmain boys could lead here, Andrew, I think.
I did.
Oh, no, taking a big dip behind the Shaw and Partners. Whooshka.
Good big dip.
Okay, they got it done.
Plenty of pressure at the headland here, Pete.
Absolutely. Oh, Fisher Paykel in a bit of trouble.
No, but they were just trying to slow down. Instead of ducking, just slowing down, yeah?
Well, they'll have to duck Shaw and Partners. There they go.
So Woody now got the problem on the left edge here. Wow.
There's a big powerboat goes down through the fleet. So where did Andu and Rag... They didn't come out of that well, really. They're now both in another dogfight, going back on starboard. Yandu looks pretty strong. He got furthest into Bradley's on the windward side.
Yeah, no, and he's come out pretty neatly there. It's a little bit risky, but he's pulled it off.
Oh, there's a capsize. Is that
Balmain
Slake has capsized?
That's
I
the
don't know.
end of their race.
Unfortunate. They had a very good start. I don't know was it during attack or not, but they're over and a bit of a time to get them back up and into this race. But Shaw and Partners going out into the middle of the stream.
Yeah. Wow.
There's Fisher Paykel leading Yandu.
And plenty of powerboat traffic.
Yeah, a lot of
Plenty's
boats
an understatement.
converging at Bradley's head.
It's like the traffic lights just went.
So going up on starboard, Fisher Paykel and
That looks safe,
Yandu.
doesn't it?
And then out, going in towards Clark Island is Shaw and Partners. And Smeg's wriggled his way through as well. There's Andu. He's just going behind Smeg. It's Michael Coxon. He started down towards the leeward end. So it's pretty tight. Burrawang's in the middle. He's coming up pretty nicely. But these two boats that are going left, Yandu, Fisher Paykel, and below them, Rag and Famish, they'll be pretty close to the leading group, if not the leading group.
So, Pete, we'll find out here exactly the status, left versus right. Rag and Famish on the leeward edge of the boats going to the left shore, and Andu on the absolute opposite corner of the racetrack. Not a big corner, but a 200-metre separation.
And the breeze, nothing extravagant up here with the breeze. Be lucky to be 12 knots, maybe 13 in the gusts.
Yeah, so probably 16 at the headland, and now no compression in the little bay on the northern side of the headland, and perhaps 12 to 14, and another little compression on the next headland up. So
the majority of the fleet playing what the good book says, stay out of the tide, incoming tide going down the western shore and into Taylor Bay. They'll hit the headland and then bounce off the headland looking for a nice left-hander.
good stuff.
Meanwhile, Shaw and Partners, they threw the good book out the window, went hard to the right into Shark Island.
It's been right on the left of screen.
That's him, just in front of the ferry. There he is with a big red flash down the sail.
Yeah, that's a textbook out the window a bit, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh well.
Nice flat water here in Taylor Bay.
Yeah, no, beautiful bit of water here, Pete. And the breeze back at the headland. Looks like there might be a little back eddy at the headland, and wind strength's probably 14 effectively.
The Rag bailed early.
Yeah, they ran out of pressure a little.
We're a little bit out of pressure, yeah.
Les Andu and Smeg, they're above the line of Yandu and Fisher Paykel.
So, Andu spot on the point, so that's the...
He looks to be flying at the moment. Andu again.
That's the money shot. Andu and Smeg coming in parallel with each other.
But Yandu will be across those two, as will Fisher Paykel.
Yep.
So just depending on how Shaw and Partners went in the right, it looks as though Fisher Paykel and Yandu very close to the lead. And there they go. Here's the cross.
Andu is marching.
Yandu's across Andu.
Yep.
Fisher Paykel will be across as well. So Jordan Gertis leads, I would think. But for how long, we don't know, because Andu has certainly got the hammer down. There's Smeg tacking.
And Doz just fell off the boat there.
Oh, he's off the boat.
Not the best tack.
No, and that's going to be ugly because he's got to get back on board. James Doran filling in for Ricky Bridge.
And perhaps not exactly in peak fitness, not sure.
Oh, he's just going to...
He
costly error.
just finished doing triathlons and so forth with his brother, so it looked like when he came in he just lost his grip on the handle.
Back to the athlete of old, just...
Okay, well, there's above Fisher Paykel, the red sail insignia is the shore, and he's not too bad.
No.
Actually, Shaw and Partners not far off the lead here, Andrew.
You're quite right, Pete.
Although Now Andu goes out to converge with him. Yandu and Fisher Michael are both tacked to lay up into George's head. And Andu going back. And Andu going back as well. But out in the middle, Jim Colley, Max Paul and Tom Quigley. Only a couple of tacks they've done and they've got the boat moving very nicely.
Well, I did say I thought it looked a little bit, set up a little bit flat off the line, but maybe in the regulation stuff in the middle here is good. It is on the flat side, Jimmy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But he's going through the water okay, so we can't be critical, I don't think. And he just got a bit of powerboat dirty air.
Oh, dirty air, dirty water. So it's probably close. The leading group is Shaw and Partners, Andu, Yandu, Fisher Paykel, and then Burrowang. And then Rag and Famish, then Smeg, who lost a lot after that bad tack when James Doran departed company briefly with the boat.
Yeah, so Shaw and Partners going to lead here, I think, Pete.
Oh, I think Yandu and will come out with a good left-hander that'll probably get him across Shaw and Partners, I think. He's heading as he goes in, Shaw and Partners. He's on nothing good out here to windward of the bulk of the fleet. And that's what the good book normally says. You get right in under this headland, you come out on a nice left-handed shift. You can see Yandu almost coming around the bow of Shaw and Partners now.
Lift in and lift out, Pete.
Yes.
Burglary.
So Fisher Paykel is tacked. He'll be third, I think. He will cross Shaw and Partners. So it's a winning double at the moment.
Oh dear.
John Senior leads John Junior.
So Shaw and Partners looking a bit low, Peter. So maybe the main isn't deep enough.
Yep. Okay.
Compared to Andu's main, it's in a different order of magnitude, yeah?
Yes, and Andu is really doing a good job, but it's still Yandu holds his nerve. And tacks. So father leads son as we're approaching the weather mark of the Beetle Boy near Sound Pigs. So Shaw and Partners tacked early. Let's look at Yandu. He's got a good one going. Oh, Andu got a bit chicken winged up in that tack.
I think they're on some waves in there, Pete.
Knocked him around a little.
Yeah, just knocked him around just a little bit there.
So I
From
think,
one of your many fans.
yeah, I think Yandu will have a nice little lead here. By probably 10 or 15 seconds. But it's still all pretty close.
They've been pretty tidy, Pete.
Very tidy. Friends on Lazarus are back a bit as we watch Burrowang and Andu. Kirk Mitchell and the boys in the Birkenhead have got themselves into the top half dozen or so.
Yeah, filling crew there as well today. Andrew Stevenson and Reece Goldsmith on.
And the Royal Oak, he's prominent. He crossed ahead of the Burrowang. So the leader's going back for some more. Right into George's head. And it's Yandu leads from Fisher Paykel and Andu. And again, Shaw and Partners going to the right. He's going in towards Bottle and Glass. So he's throwing the Tide Atlas out and just going for the shifts as Andu tacks.
So Yandu is pretty comfortable here, Pete. They better attack on the low line.
Okay, so from the right, we're looking there is the Royal Oak, Fisher Paykel and Andu standing out towards Beetle Boy. They'll be under it, I think, Andrew, weren't they, with the tide against them? Yeah.
No, exactly. So let's assume that, and if we can have a look to the left, we can see Yandu. We can assume that's a port tack low line, Pete.
Yes, He's about 80 to 90 metres to weather of that group. There's Yandu.
Rag Famish thinks he's overstood, or no, Rag Famish running out of water.
I think he's running out of
terra
runway.
firma there, mate.
Yep, you're right.
So the breeze, what, only about 12 knots, Andrew, I guess?
Yeah, probably 14, I'd say, the puff speed, yeah. Comfortable little rig. Sort of mid-range.
Woody getting the Manly fast ferry to stop for him.
He's not lying though, Pete.
No, he's under it, isn't he?
Short by 6 boat lengths or something.
Tied against him, push him left to right.
Yeah.
So Shaw and Partners is certainly not going away.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, he might be lying after all, Pete.
Won't need much to get there, but its tide will be hurting him.
Generally a progressive header in this sort of wind structure, so as you go to the mark on port.
So Andu has got at least 2 more tacks to do the job to get around this mark. He's well under it. There he goes. That's his first of 2, I would think.
Yeah, Yandu's lying, mate.
Yandu is laying. Okay,
Yep.
that's
Yep.
the call from Andrew. That'll do me. Well, that's a well-judged lay line.
No, perfect.
Gave nothing away.
So he's in a little bit of squeeze mode to get there, but he's going to get there.
He'll have a nice lead here.
Yeah, no, that'll be
20
nice.
seconds or so,
Be
or even
nice.
a bit more.
Be nice and comfortable.
Yeah,
won't
he's
it?
in the squeeze mode.
Oh, boys.
No, they're doing all their adjustments, so I think they're there.
Bit of choppy water, but they're there.
Now they got
And
there.
off to Shark Island.
Andu made up ground there, though, Pete, by sailing fast. And
Just got a bit slow towards the end when he got in that squeeze mode. But Yandu leads
wow, big
by
hard
about
turn.
10 seconds. Then Andu.
Yeah, that's all it is. 10 seconds, quite a big gap, though, to third, eh?
Which will
Then-
be Shaw and Partners.
Shaw and Partners, indeed.
And just
With
get
Fisher
in.
and Pike just above them.
Yeah, I think Shaw and Partners will squeeze in below Fisher Pike. Although Fisher Pike's got the hammer down to get. But Shaw and Partners will get there, third. Fisher Pike fourth.
Yeah.
Then all pretty close after them.
And the rag just sneaking in here on the short port tack lay line.
Oh, Smeg's going to be with Rag and Famish. They're the 5th and 6th.
Yeah.
And they're about a minute, 50 seconds to a minute behind the race leader. Oh, Shaw and Partners in a bit of trouble. Getting rolled by
Fisher and Pike are dirty
Fisher
air.
Pikel.
Giving them a bit of a touch up.
Smeg have recovered after that little wobble up in that tack as Birkenhead goes round. Kirk Mitchell. Outside of him, Royal Oak. Then the Burrawang Hotel. I'm sure John Harris is enjoying his comeback to sailing and done a pretty fair job for someone that's been out of these boats for a long, long while.
I have seen him out here watching, but that doesn't equate to doing.
Yeah, well, that means we do a lot of watching. How would we go?
I think we get it right every time.
Yeah, exactly.
Pete, I hate to tell you, but we're lucky to get up the first mark, first beat.
We're lucky to get off the beach, Andrew.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, the race is on to Shark Island. So what's the tactics here? Into Steel Point, short starboard jibe, then in, Andrew, I think.
Wow.
Or when you get down in one.
One jibe, mate, I'd say, or two jibes.
Yes.
Just get to Steel Point in a little bit of depression there and judge then your optimum lay line down to the island.
A big split already. Yandu has kept low, and Andu's gone really high. So he'll definitely have to jibe Andu. Yandu's trying to get down in one, I think. But here's the gaggle for third position. Fisher Pikel leads his group from Shaw and Partners, the rag. And buried in there somewhere is Smeg. There's the 4 of them. So in the distance, Andu has jibed off Steel Point, and I think Oh, will Yandu get down? We'll come to them in a moment.
Well, his best efforts are not using maximum VMG, whereas Andu by technique just let it rip, you know.
Rag setting up for a jibe.
Okay, there's the rag jibing of that group of 4.
And Andu has also jibed, Pete.
Yeah.
So
Fisher Paykel jibing. Shaw and partners yet to jibe. Will have to, or they'll run into steel point, as will Smeg. So the jibe angle, again, as always, rather critical.
we're probably looking at around the 80 degrees in this wind strength with the number 2 rig up.
Okay, your call, Andrew.
Yep.
Okay,
Depending.
Shaw and partners jibes. We're on Smeg. That's beautiful Nielsen Park in the background. Okay, Smeg's jibe. Very nice jibe. And I think the news is that the 2 leaders, Yandu and Andu, have extended on the chasing pack.
Yeah, they appeared to have a little more pressure. They went down the first part of the run
Now,
and sailed into the back of a puff and out the front. And they're on another good one now.
yeah, Yandu's got to hunt up for pressure, while Andu, John Winning Jr., has got good pressure and getting below Yandu. So it's an Andu-Yandu winnings. So forgive us if you get confused, because we're a bit confused ourselves at times, probably most of the time, but what we're finding, Andu with the plain white spinnaker is trying to get to leeward of Yandu.
But enough east in the breeze, Pete, that Yandu looks like they're laying towards the mark pretty accurately. Not saying they've done the right thing, because usually the low road pays, but
They've both got 3 strings,
yeah.
and it looks a bit lighter where they're going to. Andu just trying to put the bow up now. What a great race between these two. What a real thrill for the father and son outfits here.
Both boats now in the same path.
Yeah.
But Andu can probably restrict Yandu's ability to jibe.
Oh, here comes a yacht right in the middle of things. It's helpful. So they're going to have to go above this yacht, which will come into screen in a moment.
Yeah.
Where is he? There he is. So Andu had to come up. Now, it'll be... They're almost at the Shark Island mark. They're both there now. There's the mark. So who jibes first here, Andrew?
Well, so they're now both in sort of cautious VMG mode, and Andu jibes first.
Andu jibes first.
I think Yandu is actually doing the right thing, because there is a significant wind shadow in this sort of wind.
Oh,
structure.
boats behind are screaming down now.
Yeah.
I think Smeg will probably lead this pack with a white spinnaker. They've got more and plenty there. The outside of them is Shaw and partners. The rag, and where's the Fisher Paykel? They're further to leeward again, I think. Oh, they're there with a black spinnaker. Oh, Birkenhead down there. It's going to be tight down that side of the island.
Smeg's got the best alignment there.
Yes, they have.
Easily.
There's some good bullets coming over the top here.
Yeah.
But it's still a good lead to Yandu and Andu. Andu, we'll come to those shortly. They look as though they may have grabbed the lead away from Yandu, as we're watching Smeg in 3rd spot with the white spinnaker. Shaw and partners belongs to the red spinnaker. Then Harry Price and the black spinnaker of Rag and Famish. Oh.
You got a kayaker right there in the middle of screen, just below the Rag and Famish.
Yeah, he'll...
Paddle faster, boys. We hear banjos.
Yeah, oh, Fisher Paykel, there's a good gust at the mark. There's Lazarus. He's come into the play. Marcus Ashley Jones. As the Birkenhead Deli goes into windward.
So a bit of double wind strength all of a sudden here down on the island.
Yep.
Sure.
A couple of boats have got a flag. There's spinnakers. That's the Burrawang and the Royal Oak 4-pine. They just got that puff really at the wrong time. They got low. They both get round. Or will they?
Royal Oak's in a bit of bother here. Burrowing likewise, but they've got the
Royal Oak 4-pine with a green chute. He's still not He's still wobbly.
So, Pete, I think Yandu has done the right thing down here. I think they'll still lead at the bottom.
Okay.
Let's see. He had good pressure all along the leeward edge.
I think jibe later, as you said, and he's laying down in one. It looks like Yandu may have 2 jibes at him, do you think?
Yes.
From where we're looking, there's Yandu between those boats way in the distance. Yes, I think you're right. I think Yandu will still lead. Smeg ripping down the western side of Point Piper, clearly third.
And Smeg also on the leeward edge, pressing pretty hard.
Yeah, those boats that jibed early have really paid the penalty. They got up in the lee a bit of Shark Island, but not Smeg. He jibed late and will be third with Harry Price at the rag fourth. And Yandu, I think, will hold a pretty nice lead.
The Yandu body language says laying the bottom mark, Pete. Nicely done, men. A little bit.
They're a bit slow, a bit overlaid perhaps.
Yeah, but they'll get there, I'm pretty sure.
We'll see in a moment. Yandu coming in on port jibe. There they are.
Woody doesn't mind a bit of square running. Still loaming tidy, Yandu doing a jibe drop under a bit of pressure here.
So after all of that, the distance remains and time remains about the same as the weather mark. So Yandu, okay, no, got the job done nicely.
Slight advantage, Yandu. Nice, boys. So, there you go.
Top of screen is the white Spinnaker Smeg. He's terrific lay line, coming in, hammering in. The rag will have to jibe.
That's an 18-footer sails lay line, that one, Peter.
Yeah, bit of work to do from Tom Anderson and the crew, James Doran today.
We'd better see a pressure jibe drop on the rag here. They're inside but not overlapped.
Breeze about 12, 14 knots here at the leeward mark. Good job on the Smeg. They're round.
Yeah.
And the rag.
Pretty much as we anticipated, the breeze is up 1 notch from the first lap. Let's see what happens here. Smeg still tidying up. The rag going to reach down and go through his lee. The rag is slightly cleaner than the Smeg.
Okay, around next in fifth will be Shaw and Partners. Spinnaker still half down or half up. Then Fisher Paykel. And then Lazarus have come into play. And then behind them, the Birkenhead Point, just lowering their Spinnaker. Shaw and Partners still got the Spinnaker halfway up a mast.
And a little lull in it.
Lazarus did well, got inside Fisher Paykel.
Yeah, Marcus would have been happy travelling around in eights, Pete.
Birkenhead just going round. So the race to Bradley's Head is on again. There's another long beat up to the Beashel Boy, and then the long VMG run back down to the leeward mark. And then they do it all again on the triangle. Beashel Boy, Shark Island finish. But Yandu just trying to pull back the lead that Yandu has as the Burrawang goes round the mark, nice and tidy.
He's got a tidy little lull too. He got a bit of luck there, I think.
Oh, the Royal. There's the Royal Oak around. There's Green Spinnaker's put to bed. Next will be Noakes
Youth.
The boys on Noakes Youth.
Just to make it confusing, they give them a blue Spinnaker.
Yeah. Noakes Youth, Tom Conich, Ellis Merritt today and Josh Becker. Following them, the Balmain Slake, the new boat today. They had that unfortunate capsize up the first beat when they were very handily placed, but Noakes Youth next. Balmain Slake, and then the few tail enders with Noakes Blue. And who else we got there? Jimmy with the coming in.
Is that the 18-footers bar and restaurant beside Noakes?
Yeah.
Okay, there's ripping his Spinnaker.
With a big tear in the chute.
Yeah, there's 18-footers. There the Noakes Blue.
You might have to show them what a file does on that boat, Bucko, because I think they had one last week.
I'll send the Admiral over with a bit of tape.
next coming down is Ilbay. Not having the same sort of luck as last week.
No, they were very strong last week. They finished third, but well back today. Well, there's Bradley's Head, and there's Andu tacking just above the line of Yandu. What's the breeze still? About 12, 14, Andrew, is it? At best?
Yeah,
Maybe a bit fresher off Bradley's.
14 and add 2 for Bradley's.
Smeg and Fisher and Rag and Famish chasing hard and vying for third position. Okay, that's the fight for third. Smeg left, Rag and Famish right. Smeg right in on the lighthouse at Bradley's Head. Getting close at the front. Son chasing father hard. At the moment, Woody's holding his nerve and again doing what the good book says, going out of the tide and into Taylor Bay.
Yeah, I think both these boats up here will be pretty conventional, Pete, up the beat. They lead comfortably.
And you said it was a new mainsail on Andu, is that right?
Yep, that's correct, I believe. It seems to be working okay. I haven't had a good look at it yet, but and both these boats with this longer footed headsail on the end of the bowsprit, which I just think fundamentally is better, but looking at the shore and partners on screen, the second echelon here.
That's Lazarus above Fisher Paykel. So he's made up good ground, the Lazarus. He was deep, dead and buried halfway up the first beat. But meanwhile, there's Smeg and Rag and Famish. Okay, Rag's got himself into a pretty good position here.
He's been pretty tidy, the Rag, since the bottom. He's was a bit better around the corner, and then he's just been a bit neat of the last bit as well. And he's going through the water a little faster than the Smeg. Not that you can tell from our TV shot, but
Smeg's looks pretty sharp though.
yeah, nothing wrong with that. So
they'd be a good minute or 50 seconds behind the two leaders, Andu and Yandu, I'd say at the moment.
Yeah, it's probably not much different to what it was at the top or the bottom, is it? They sorted themselves out on the run to some degree.
Very even between those two. As we go up and have a look at the two leaders, we leave the battle for third between Harry Price and Michael Coxon. They're standing into Taylor Bay.
Let's see, we might get a good look at the rig set up here on the Yandu, which must be pretty good.
There he is. There's Yandu right in on the point. There is the tack. Let's have a look at that. Oh, come on, Woody, get yourself out. Come on, old fella. There you go. He still leads. Good lead.
Yeah, no,
Probably extended a little.
He's actually fast.
He's probably doubled his 10-second lead. But still,
Despite tacking back to front.
well, Might work. Everyone should try it.
Not so sure on that one, Pete.
So,
Good stuff. Maisel looks good, but not perfect, I'd say. Andu hard press in.
okay, that's Yandu going off the headland out into the stream a little. We're right in on the point is Andu. He's about 40, 50 metres to weather of Yandu.
And looking, Andu back on starboard, so just consolidating on the left edge here. And good pressure in Chowder Bay, Pete, looking upwind. We're just downwind of Andu on the camera boat.
And we'll see the cross in a moment, and I think Yandu will want Chowder Bay again right into that point to get the left-hand shift. There we go. There's still a few boat lengths in it.
So, Pete, that suggests there's no difference in boat speed, doesn't it? In reality, there's been not much change, and both boats have been sailed pretty efficiently. And it looks to me as though they put a little gap into the 3-4 into Rag and Famish and
Yes.
and Smeg.
Lovely nor'easter now. As it's been all day, it's probably freshened a little. 14 knots at best. Classical summer sea breeze on the harbour for the second heat of the state championship for the 18-footers. The race sponsor today is Smeg and racing for the Alice Burton Memorial Trophy. This is all pretty close here for third. Smeg, Lazarus, Fisher Paykel, Shaw and Partners. Lazarus, the boat that's started to motor through.
He gave him a pretty decent start on the first beat, and so he must have actually been pretty fast through the water.
As Yandu tacks, and I think Andu will cross here.
Andu didn't look like the look of the little lull he was standing into.
No, but Andu will cross.
Wow.
A big gain by standing out into the middle of the harbour a bit further.
And perhaps mostly just more pressure, Pete, or a little bit more boat speed, or a little bit more pressure.
Yandu, as you say, got a bit lithy as he went into Chowder Bay. He wasn't up as high as he wanted to be, obviously.
Yeah, so his mainsail set up conspicuously flatter than Andu. Conspicuously, so that might account for a little bit of the downrange issue as well.
There's the Rag and Famish clearly in third spot now. It's Clifton Gardens in the background. Wow, all of a sudden it looks as though Andu has put the pedal down, but we'll have a look when they come back out at each other. There's Yandu. Oh no, he's done okay, Yandu. He's come out far enough to stay in the pressure. Andu will tack right on the shore and go along the shore. George's head.
Yeah, Andu's just going to cross. Not much in it, but
no, it's a comfortable cross. Or is it? Or is it? Hold your breath, yeah. Andu,
no, I think it's pretty comfortable.
Yeah. Okay, now what happens? Will Andu keep on keeping on and continue his winning form? At the moment, it's very impressive effort by both these two crews. They've jumped away from the bulk of the pack. The rich are getting a little bit richer out here.
Not on screen, Pete, but Andu's just tacked back.
wow. So
Into
they're taking it a bit seriously, aren't they? Good pressure at the point. That's what we know. Now, Yandu might have learned something by their first tack, their first lay line on the first beat. And Andu probably could have saved himself a couple of tacks by standing on port for an extra little bit, but they like the compression on the headland too much.
Yeah, they've gone right in there to the...
Yeah.
You can see the light water, the shallow points. good breeze here around the point. Good solid 12, 13, 14. Oh, there's a big powerboat screaming down the middle of the harbour. You'll see him in a minute. See if you can get a bit closer, you wombat. Here he goes. Look at this. There he is. Look. Oh, fabulous. Terrific.
Right between both of them.
Yeah, yeah. Back to your paddle beating shop. Here goes Andu up and down. Yandu will be okay. Okay, both boats well short of the ley line.
Yeah. And aside of the traffic, you would have thought Yandu might have been advised to tack back to the left. But anyway, they're not going to do that.
There's the Rag coming out of Chowder Bay. She's a fair way back now in third position. Looks a little bit lighter out in the middle here, Andrew, doesn't it? There's compression at the headland, as you said.
Yeah, just not abnormal for it to be softer in the middle in this kind of not quite funneling wind.
So Yandu tacks. So it's not the best of his tacks.
No.
May have dropped the main sheet there, perhaps, but anyway, Andu leads. And it might open up quite a nice lead here now.
Yeah, and I think he thinks that the current is no longer relevant. It's a little bit more even across the track here, and maybe even a bit of relief on the right edge.
Yeah, it's only a small tide though.
Yeah, yeah.
Tack now got one more tack to come in to lay. You get out to his port ley line here. And that's the little mark you can see just in the distance approaching Andu. It's the Bishal boy. Wouldn't be far off it now. Yandu. It's a fair lead he's opened up in that last little bit, isn't it? There goes Yandu now. And there goes Andu. We'll just get a time on this.
Wow. Is he a bit short? No, he's okay.
No, he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
So 5 boat length lead, so 20 seconds, Peter.
Yeah, so a big run straight back to the leeward mark now. Shark Island doesn't come into play. He's around. John Whitting Jr., Sam Newton and Sevi Jarvan. Wow, there's some experience on that team, and they're showing it today. They've opened up a nice lead on Yandu, who will be second, and
a decent set.
Yeah, they're away. The delta now is about 28 seconds.
Half a minute, eh?
Yep. So that was very impressive from Andu, but nonetheless, Yandu within striking distance.
Yep. Pretty good sets on both boats.
Both boats, excellent crew work. Josh Lebeski and Fang Warren on Yandu, along with John Whitting. Rag and Famish is about 1:10 behind the leaders. He would be third, Lazarus fourth, Shaw and Partners fifth, Smeg, Birkenhead, then Fisher Paykel. So Andu wants the western shore, you'd say. He's jibed and going away on starboard in towards Clifton Gardens.
Well, you know where Woody will go, don't you?
Yes.
I won't guarantee you that it'll stand to Nielsen Park.
No, they're jibing now, I reckon.
There as well, underneath him.
Well, maybe he's just thinking he'll stay in touch. Rare that he does this, though. Anyway.
Nice jibe.
Influence of Josh and Fang probably on the how they manage themselves.
Behind them, Ragged Famish has jibed early.
Yeah, they've got plenty to do, the Ragged Famish.
Not impossible, but getting very close to it.
Yeah, that's correct, I think.
I think Andu and Yandu go right to this western shore, and then
Andu got a bit of bother on a big cruise vessel, a big harbour cruise boat. Perhaps.
There's third on screen now, Pete. It's Bragg, and in fourth is Lazarus. So they're stomping through that chasing pack.
oh, there's at the front of the fleet, Yandu has to jibe. You can see them jibing now. There's a big Vagabond cruise ship right on their track, so it prevented them getting right to that western shore where Andu has gone. There's the Rag in third spot, still on starboard jibe, and Andu's got right into Chowder Head.
Just a little bit of compression there, Pete. Pretty useful. Woody will be mentioning new names for the Vagabond Spirit.
There's a great shot of the Rag. Look at him, he's absolutely flying along in towards Chowder Bay. There's a couple of the stragglers still coming up with. Wouldn't be far off a job. Here he goes now, the Rag. Nice jibe. Very good crew work by Harry Price, Josh McKnight, and Harry Hall. There's the leader. He hasn't got all that much pressure, although he had to pull away to get round that powerboat. Now he's going to go to full wick. Ron Lazarus, Marcus Ashley Jones in fourth position.
There's third at top of screen.
Yeah, right off Chowder Head. So that's the distance between third and fourth.
So we're travelling with Andu on the camera boat. Not very far off the starboard, off the port tack ley line into the bottom mark, and still about 3/4 of a mile to sail. Yeah.
There's Lazarus going around the stern of that Vagabond that Yandu almost ran into. He's getting some bad waves there. Back on Yandu, and he's about 2/3 the way down this run.
Yep.
One more beat to Beechel, then the triangle home round Shark Island, then to the finish. And at the moment, another masterclass, you'd have to say. Under pressure early from Rag and Famish, and then Yandu. But he's wriggled his way through to a very convincing lead at the moment. And in early days, I know, but you'd have to say that probably the boat to beat this year on early season form.
That Vagabond really hurt Yandu, didn't it?
Yep. They pushed him out into the middle of the harbour. We'll see when he comes back. He'll be a fair way back, I think. But there's the picture of the race leader with the harbour skyline in the background.
Yeah, it'll be close to 1 minute, Pete, I'd say. I mean, the lack of observance of the rules of the road by the charter boats is getting pretty universal, really. We had I sailed the whole 18 yesterday, And we had all the course for a large catamaran cruise boat.
You just wonder where the RMS or whoever they are, what they see or don't see, really. You see the boats out here, but I think they haven't got any knowledge about sailing and they don't understand the concept of how these cruise boats and pleasure boats can get in the way of sailboats.
Well, and the fundamental rule that unless you've got commercial privilege, power is way to sail.
Absolutely. Okay, well, anyway, let's concentrate on the sailing. There's the distance. Yandu just above the ley line. They'll want it in here. Oh, they've got a nice puff here.
No, the jibe drop, Pete.
Jibe drop. Yep, they're close enough to do that.
Sammy Newton just looking under the boom, going, yeah, that'll do.
Okay, we'll get the clocks running. Put themselves under a little bit of pressure, but this top crew...
Walk in the park.
Yeah, a doddle, as they say.
Beautiful rounding. That's pretty good for
Great rounding.
mildly under pressure.
Yeah, you'd like that every day. You'd be very happy.
Yeah.
And,
3 boat lengths from flying along to shoot in the bag.
Well, about 28 seconds, I think we set at the top mark. As Yandu coming in second, clearly second. Yeah, it's going to be 40-odd seconds or a bit more, perhaps. Yandu dropping early, which is nice. Get the job nice and clean, and the rag...
He's a bit conservative though, Pete, isn't he?
Rag not out of it yet in third position. Well, that's 35 seconds gone already.
Yeah.
It'll be 45 seconds, I'd say.
Yeah. A bit too conservative from Andu. But maybe he's just thinking, well, seconds, I'll just be safe.
Okay, we'll call that 47 seconds.
Yeah, 47.3.
Yeah, okay, good, good.
0.3.
0.3. And the rags understood the jibe mark, perhaps throw the bottom mark a little. Do another little completed jibe, which is expensive.
So Smeg was a bit of a loser, I think, towards the end of that beat and down the run. He's dropped back to, Rag and Famish, a bit wobbly.
And the rag.
Oh, that's the Birkenhead ahead of Smeg.
Yeah.
Good job by Kirk
They must
Mitchell.
have had a bit of a wobble, Pete, the Smeg, I think. Pretty good stuff from the rag and Famish.
Okay, they're a minute 25 astern of the leader, Andu.
Jibe drop, dial up. Wow.
Okay, there's a bit of action going to be here at the moment.
But expensive to do that, so they paid a little cost. But anyway, they're in touch with Yandu, so it's a good effort down the run from the rag.
Here comes Lazarus jibing. Jibe drop. Shore and Partners trying to get on the inside with a red spinnaker. So they might just do this Shore and Partners so they get the spinnaker down. That's down. They've got in there.
Yep, that's pretty tidy.
Remembering they can hit the mark as long as they don't tow it away.
And the Lazarus.
So Shore and Partners is around in fourth. Lazarus fifth. Smeg will be coming next.
But now difficult for Smeg, Pete. They're in the rack up going to Bradley's. No way out of it. Just grit your teeth and
tough it out.
Tough it out.
Take it on.
Yeah. And the 2 boats in front of them probably going to sail in high slow mode, and you're left with no choice. Interesting.
He's having a good year, Kirk Mitchell, in the Birkenhead.
He's having a great year.
They've been up there most days.
Steadily improving, inch by inch.
Jordan Gertis, he's been up there today. Just dropped back a little now. Who's the next? It's the Hotels are next. It's the Royal Oak will be first, leading the Burrawang. It's the Burrawang with the blue chute.
So this is a top 10.
The Royal Oak.
Burrowing in 10th.
Alex Marinelli, Matt Doyle and Darcy McCracken.
That's not a bad outcome for those guys today. They've hanging on to the back of the peloton.
Yep. So all the fleet away on starboard to Bradley's, except Andu, who's tacked off Bradley's. He's on port. As down comes the Burrawang.
rest of the fleet is very spread out.
Yes,
Not even down past Bradley's at the moment.
on the run
coming
down,
downhill.
yeah. So as we go up through the fleet, there's Smeg trying to hold some height to get off the boats that are ahead of him.
And I think the Balmain slate has gone missing.
New boaters, you know, Bucko, like just one little thing that there's always something that goes wrong on them, isn't
Yeah,
there?
the 1,000 items and one of them's wrong.
Yeah.
Well, there's
The
rag has tacked to come round Bradley's head for the last time. They're going upwind. They're trying to chase down Yandu, who's in second spot, but they've got a fair job to do there. Yandu has really put a foot wrong today. Here's another.
Same one.
The same kumquat head on Vagabond Cruises. Just get a bit closer next time and really
I'm sure Mark has
stuff it up.
just something nice to say to him.
Really and truly. Shake your head.
Yeah, that is pretty unacceptable, isn't it?
3 times he's had a go at the fleet.
Yeah.
How easy is it to go just behind him? Anyway, we won't get worked up yet. We've got a long season to go. As we...
The Christmas parties are plenty on those boats.
Oh, yeah. So there's the rag. She's got Yandu in her sights, but it's probably...
Not impossible, but
They'll be enjoying the challenge, you know that.
Yeah, they'll have to sail pretty well, or Yandu will have to do something extraordinary poorly, I think, for them to get into second spot from what we're seeing at the moment, but who knows? There's Yandu.
it was not on screen. Peter just saying Balmain Slate just coming down without a spinnaker.
Yep.
So
Going home by the look of that.
So some teething issues. Glorious day now on the harbour. Sun shining, cloudless sky, northeasterly breeze of 12 to 14 knots. There's a couple of the tail enders hammering downwind. Who we got there? Is that Noakes? No, that's
Ilve.
Ilve. Well, he's fallen from grace today. And there's the Balmain Slake, just limping along without the spinnaker. And behind there's Noakes Youth. And then behind them there's
Shore and Partners too.
Shore and Partners too, the boys from Andu Comanche, Pablo, Antonio and Phil Jamison, the man they call Blood, having a good day's out. They have acquitted themselves very well for the first time out in an 18-footer, that's for sure. Not an easy task. There's the kitchen maker. Lachlan Steele, Jerome Watts, Finn Rodowitz, Shore and Partners, Smeg going upwind. They're vying for 4th position,
So
along
Pete,
with Lazarus.
Pete, the breeze a little bit up in the left edge now.
Yes, you can see that looking upwind, Andrew, can't you?
A little bit solid.
Towards Chowder Head.
So we're alongside Smeg and they're about to enter the zone of increased pressure.
Well, a big split here. Smeg and Shore and Partners doing what the good book says, go up out of the tide on the left-hand side. Marcus Ashley Jones rolled a big dice and going right into Shark Island to see if he can get into 4th spot. You'll see Marcus shortly. Not there. There he is there. Still going, just tacked. So he's right out in midstream with the tide coming in, but not a huge tide. What's the tide today, Jimmy? What'd you say, 1.3 metres, was it?
Yeah, it was 1.3 from a 0.5.
Okay,
So,
well, that's the view from Smeg across to Lazarus. Harry Bethwaite and Geronimo Harrison today crewing for Marcus Ashley Jones. Shaw and Partners, he's put in a pretty good performance today to trying to hang into fourth spot and get into third. But at the moment, Rag and Famish will be ahead of him, not by much. Not by much at all, really. Shaw and Partners done pretty well there. He's got a couple of boat lengths astern of the Rag.
Yeah. I'm just wondering whether the Rag will now just go into a defensive mode rather than trying to chase.
Yeah, that's not a big lead in an 18-footer, is it?
No.
Only
Yandu seems to have stepped out quite a bit.
perhaps 5 boat length separation. That's only a very small slip up to give that back. Yeah, the 2 leaders pretty comfortable, Pete, aren't they, really?
Wow, yeah, they've really jumped away from the fleet. There's Lazarus coming up the middle. Rag going out to have a look at him. So Harry Price has got them coming from everywhere, the left and the right, to try and run him down out of third spot.
There he goes, bit of a clamp on the Lazarus here. And we're going to give you a look, I think, from behind Lazarus.
Breeze not only about 12 knots here.
Yeah, a little less in the middle, in the midstream.
Shaw and Partners very close to third. Oh, here comes a cavalry of kumquat heads down in these power boats. See how close they can get.
Cavalry.
Yeah, all their fenders over the side. That's a good close cross there. Yeah, that's the go, mate. Away you go. There's one idiot. Is another gold medalist. Yeah.
Oh, he's fighting for the bronze, that bloke, Pete.
Gets his fenders over. He's got his fenders over the other side. Very good. Anyway, there's the Shaw and Partners. Ooh, just tacking a bit of wobbly water, a bit chopped up, but okay.
Pretty nice tack, though.
Very good tack.
Came out perfectly.
They'll be close to third. They've got a bit more pressure out here. So it's a fight for third between the Rag and Shaw and Partners. Lazarus will be fifth, and then Smeg next, and then Birkenhead Point. Don't forget, if you're enjoying the coverage, hit the like button. Wherever that might be, you'll find it, I'm sure. Just like us. We want to come back next week. Okay, that's Chowder Bay. In the distance is Yandu. Way in the distance is Andu, the top right.
Well, Pete, the 2 leaders are tied together with the rubber band.
Yep.
Good fight for third, fourth, fifth, though.
Wonder who's buying dinner tonight.
Herman.
And here's going to be just behind these two. There's Yandu. And here's we look pan to the left. Just the Rag still maintains third spot. This could be a good, exciting Spinnaker run if they're that close down the bottom at Shark Island.
Yeah, I mean, 15-second not an unknown differential will make up on the bottom reach alone, Pete, little on the top one. So, who's fastest downwind, do you think, Jimmy?
Well, I've liked what the Rag have been doing all year, but yeah, the Shaw and Partners are having a blinder. They're trying to learn that new boat.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, Andrew's, the 2 leaders, Spinnakers look a little better to me than the third and fourth boats. Rag's amateur chute looks a little bit too flat at the entry.
Well, watching Yandu, he's got terrific pressure coming round the headland here at George's Head. You'll see the white caps.
That's a perfect bit of
It's
left hand.
best pressure he's had all day.
Yeah.
And it's left too.
Beautiful. bows up at the mark, but
Yeah,
he
but
won't lay. But that tells you about a little bit of rotation and a little bit of build, doesn't it?
That's a lovely shot there.
And
Pressure at the point.
You can see the mark just to leeward of the mainsail ledge. So if that, and it won't hold, Pete. That's the problem. It's local
Fool's gold.
No, it's local to the headland to some degree, and he probably will lay though, I would say.
That's the buoy right in the distance there. But I think
Close anyway.
the flood tide will hurt him and it'll get down pressure as he goes out. So consequently he'll head. So he'll be short.
He might be a bit short. Yep.
But in the distance, his son Tax to come across and hold a solid lead. But Yandu is not letting him go away too much. These two have broken right away from the pack now.
Well, those other boys are keeping each other busy to some degree, aren't they, Pete? The third, fourth, fifth.
Yeah,
The rag stepped out. I'm just looking back off the camera boat. The rag seems to have stepped out from him, and so I think Shore and Partners must have had a wobbly tack somewhere.
Yeah, and I think Rag's found his fifth gear too, Pete. Jimmy. So the Andu looking like they're going to be pretty conservative on the lay line.
They sure are.
Yeah, well. So Yandu likes doing a keel boat, shorten up type approach. Andu's well over it.
Yeah, Andu can now, I would think, really put the hammer down to get into this weather mark for the last time. 2 legs to go. This polished crew of Sam Newton, Semi Jarman, with skipper John Winnie Jr. Another top-class performance today. An easy lay.
Yep. Ripping in. Back on the bus already. Good setup.
Okay, around they go. Clocks are running. Easy, easy, lovely, lovely. No problem at all. Bang, beautiful. Look at that.
Wow, that's pretty cool, isn't it, Pete? 4 boat lengths set in about 15 knots of wind.
Yeah, good breeze again at the weather mark.
Yes, maybe a bit more than 15, but approximately.
They're streaking away now. And what was the delta? About 45 at the leeward mark.
Yeah,
And
so Yandu now just on port.
it'll be a little more than 45.
Well, be a
but-
minute.
Yeah.
Be 1 minute.
.45 seconds now. So they've lost a little, but not a great deal. 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 58 seconds.
58 and a half, Pete.
Okay,
All right, so
that'll do me.
call it a minute, all right. Keep it simple.
We might go down with these two to the finish here.
We'll probably head down towards Shark Island and see what happens for the battle for third. I think, barring unforeseen accidents, first and second look fairly assured. Shark Island in the distance. Lovely summer nor'easterly breeze. A tremendous performance by John Winnie when you consider he's 70 years young, mixing with all these young tyros out here. still showing him the way, all except his son. So he'll have to do something about that.
Take his allowance off him.
That's a bigger job than you might think, Jimmy.
Okay, third and fourth are around. It's a good battle. There's the Rag, got the first spinnaker set. He's third. Right on his hammer is Shaw and Partners, only a boat length in it. Come on, boys, get that spinnaker set. Okay, the Rag got a jump there. Okay, but this will be the battle, and then not far behind is Smeg, Lazarus, and a great shot of the Shaw and Partners.
They've just dropped the Fisher and Pykle and Burton at Point Marina just off this that chasing pack there, so.
Okay, jibe angle important, Andrew.
We're going to try 75 this time, Pete.
And meanwhile, Yandu has really jumped ahead.
Just down the jibe.
Team are in. 1, 2, 3. Bang, lovely.
Great jibe.
So a clear runway between them and Shark Island as we watch the Shaw and Partners trying to throw the challenge down to Rag and Famish for third. Wow, this would be Yandu now is second, but boy, he's a long way back. Shaw and Partners off Nielsen Park. His final run to the Shark Island jibe mark and then to the finish. Up ahead, there's Andrews streaking down the side of Shark Island in a boomer of a gust. Crew working hard. It's top-class crew. Absolutely stellar performance again. And is this cruise boat going to come into play? You can see it going across. It'll force them into an early jibe, I think. They're above the mark now. Now they're getting a good gust. Oh, they've got a beautiful gust there. There'll be some flogging in the chute here to get up. Oh, they've got a ripper. They'll get there and then it'll streak down behind this boat. As always happens, they get a puff at the wrong time. Sheet on. Terrific. Well done. Going to get a bit of a lee here off this cruise boat that went above them.
Yeah, but I think conservatism now, they should jibe perhaps anyway.
They'll extend in a little before they go to the jibe, not far off it. Looking around, Sevy's still on the wire. No.
There he goes.
And there he goes.
A little bit of a safety first jibe, that one.
Very safety first, wasn't it?
And probably think they can probably lay down to the finishing line as the second place Yandu also coming down in a good gust, but they're a long way back now.
A good build, yeah, so we got a bit of action here. Jibe a little bit too late. Got a bit distracted by the...
See Yandu right at top of screen streaking down Point Piper. I think he'll look pretty good here now. Yandu above the mark, but clearly and safely in second. Have a look at the race leader. Now he's got soft again.
Well, that's to lift off over the point here, Pete. Dangerous territory, as we have seen. Breeze might be down to 12 knots and then re-exerts itself on the other side of the point. Quite bumpy water as well.
Okay, Yandu has jibed already to chase in at second spot. And just putting the bow up a little. just going to come into more pressure shortly. There it is now.
I think he might have a pretty neat lay into the finish.
Perfect, absolutely perfect. What a great day for the winning family. Winning in more ways than one. First and second.
Back up there first from Friday night, Pete.
Yes, the line honours in that Cabbage Tree Island yacht race. Both father and son were aboard. So Andrew will win second heat of the state championship after taking the first heat last weekend. Get a time on this, Andrew, for us, please. So they're about almost there now. 1, 2, 3. Well done. First class performance again from Andu, winning the second heat. And there's Yandu. Certainly far from disgraced with this performance. But it's a long way back. Look, it's half this run. They're behind. Ilve, we're just seeing Ilve going home. It's going to be well over a minute, Andrew, isn't it? 1:30, I'd say. And we'll look at Yandu coming down there, safely second. So it's an Yandu double. Wow, that's putting an early stamp on proceedings for Andu. They've really shown some outstanding form. As Yandu's now about 100 metres from finishing line, but the battle is for third place. The Rag and Famish have capsized, I think, up at the jibe mark. So their race for third is over. They've just got the boat up and they've just no spinnaker up, so I'm assuming they've capsized. So it's a great battle for third. Here it is. White spinnaker belongs to Lazarus. The red spinnaker Shaw and Partners. And the Rag have perished. Shaw and Partners an advantage here.
And at a guess, we'd say that the Yandu, the margin about 1:40.
Okay, well, that's what you thought. Here we go. Race on for third. Shaw and Partners, Jim Colley, Max Paul and Tom Quigley. Hard in pursuit is Lazarus, Marcus Ashley Jones, Harry Bethwaite and Geronimo Harrison. Throwing everything out at these boys. I think they'll both be laying the finish. Lazarus probably got a tickle of speed at the moment. Oh, there's a collapse chute on Shaw and Partners. It's costly. Great crew work on both these boats. Both crews working hard. I think Lazarus is going to run out of runway here. It's just a little bit below Shaw and Partners, but Shaw and Partners should get there, I think. Both at full biff here. Yet Shaw and Partners will get third.
Yeah, both boats doing about 20 knots.
Good performance from Shaw and Partners for third. Lazarus had to come from a long way back for fourth. Wow, only a boat length in that.
Lazarus would be reliving their first beat, Pete, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they really got lost. Anyway, now the battle for fifth between Fisher Paykel and Smeg. Fisher Paykel got himself back into this groove because he was back at about 8th or 9th at the...
Yeah, they had a bit of a wobble in the middle, didn't they?
Yeah.
I think there's been a bit of action on the other side of the jibe mark.
Yes, yes.
Just by looking at that, I think.
So Fisher Paykel 5th, Smeg 6th, 7th the Birkenhead.
And looks like probably eighth for the Ragged Famish, having been on the riding lever at the last jive mark. Not so good.
No, that's been a disappointment for those boys.
Well, it's a bit of a high-risk thing that, Pete, you know, when you get the heading puff at the mark. Sometimes it doesn't appear to be an escape route, more or less.
Okay, Birkenhead coming across now. Good performance at 7th. In the distance you can see the black spinnaker of Ragged Famish, and the blue spinnaker I believe is the Burrowang. John Harris will be pretty happy with his effort. Top 10 today after being a long time out of 18-foot skiffs. Living in America for a long period of time. Okay, and here's the Rag just at the western end of Point Piper. Rag across now to hold down 8th position after being in a battle for 3rd and 4th most of the race. Here's the Burrowang Hotel. Brandon Blank and Warren Sayre alongside John Harris. And boy, daylight after that, isn't it?
Yeah, well, and one of the Ragged Famish, the only boat in the top 10 that's got there with a capsize. The remainder of the top 10 have all been on the riding lever at some point.
I don't know where the Royal Oak 4-pine ended up. He was just in front of the Burrowang at the Lewin mark the last time, but he's nowhere to be seen. Well done, the Burrowang across in 9th spot. So that's been another very exciting race on a glistening Sydney Harbour for the second heat of the stake titles. The race sponsor today was Smeg, and the winner, Andu, wins the Alice Burton Memorial Trophy. And another top performance from that team. Andrew, your thoughts on the race?
Well, it was a good hit out, but Andu clearly got a small speed advantage. We might see a couple of new luff curves before we race again, I think, on a couple of the boats. It looked a little bit too flat, the setup. But I guess we would have to wait and see what happened in a top range second sail breeze to make any firm conclusions. And Jimmy just mentioned the 18-footer restaurant coming in hot from the jive mark. A good result for Pedro Cam Walker and Paddy Bannon to get in the top 10.
Top 10.
Indeed. But Pete, looks like summer has resumed to some degree, and so we look forward to a few more races on this mighty fine nor'east course.
Yes, well, we're just recapping. Today's second heat, Andu first, Yandu second, Shaw and Partners third, Lazarus fourth, Fisher Paykel fifth, Smeg 6th, Birkenhead 7th, Rag and Famish 8th, Burrowang Hotel 9th, and the 18-footer bar and restaurant will come home in 10th position.
Yeah, so, daylight after them,
yes,
unfortunately.
You can't see, there's a few spinnakers way in the distance, but we'll probably say farewell now, I think, from the harbour. Next week is the third heat of the state titles. I'll be on long service leave, so I'll leave it to Andrew and Jimmy to get you through the day, which I hope they can. And I'll enjoy my long service leave. So
we'll do our best.
Yeah, well, you've got a lot to live up to, you know that.
We know.
Yes. So the Sail Media team, once again, boys, have been terrific with the shots above the water and on the water, and I hope you've enjoyed it. We've certainly, as usual, enjoyed bringing it to you. So until we meet again, we're saying very good afternoon from Sydney Harbour. On behalf of Jimmy Bury and Andrew Buckland, I'm Peter Shipway, and look forward to your company next time.